We have some breaking news out of the NBA where Kawhi Leonard will miss tonight's Game 3 against the Suns. Kawhi is dealing with a sprained right knee and is unable to give it a go. He suffered that injury during Game 1 in Phoenix, then playing through it during Game 2. Now, ESPN reports that Leonard will be considered day-to-day heading into Game 4. The series is all tied up at 1 with Game 3 tipping off tonight in LA at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And for more on this, let's bring in our coach, Avery Johnson. Coach, first up, it kind of seems like this news was out of nowhere. What was your initial reaction when you hear this about Kawhi?
Oh, I was surprised because I didn't see anything physically wrong with them in Game 2. And this is a series where Kawhi Leonard is really outplaying Kevin Durant. Love watching this matchup. You can see that Kawhi Leonard has outscored Durant in both of these games, 38-27 in Game 1, 31-25 in Game 2. You can see the numbers here in a 50-game playoff span. In the playoffs, Kawhi Leonard's one of the few guys in NBA history that's averaging 30 points a game and 50%, shooting 50% from the field, along with the likes of MJ and LeBron and Wilt and Hakeem. So this was a matchup I was looking forward to tonight, and I was surprised, Jacqueline, to hear the news.
And it's an obvious blow to the Clippers, Coach. I mean, you said it. You didn't notice anything wrong with Kawhi in Game 2. He dropped 30-plus points in that game. I mean, how do they replace Kawhi in Game 3?
Well, it's hard because it's not like you can go to Paul George. He's out for the first round. So it's going to be a heavy dose of Russell Westbrook. Scoring the basketball, assisting the ball. Even though the Clippers are a little bit deeper team, their bench is a little bit deeper than the Suns. Kawhi is just hard to replace, especially with the way that he's been scoring the ball in this series. So I think it's going to be a heavy dose of Westbrook pick and rolls, isolations, post-ups, because when you don't have Kawhi Leonard in the lineup and also Paul George, that's like a combined 60 to 65 points that you're trying to replace.
Now, Avery, as a former coach, if you're coaching the Clippers after tonight, how do you look at a day-to-day injury on someone who is a star like Kawhi?
Well, you're trying to play the long game. And what the Clippers are really trying to do, they're trying to win this series in 7 games. They know that obviously this is going to be a back-and-forth series. So the goal is, hey, let's rest Kawhi tonight. Is obviously, he's got a knee issue. Let's try to bring him back, wear the Suns down a little bit, bring him back fresh for Game 4, and see if he can be available for the rest of the series, and see if he can be one of the fresher players, because now he's going to get an extra 2 or 3 days rest before Game 4, and hopefully he's ready to go for Game 4.
Now, Avery, from a Suns standpoint, how do you make sure that your team keeps that same intensity and it doesn't slip knowing that the Clippers, best player isn't on the floor?
Well, you don't want to have a rinse and repeat of what happens with the Los Angeles Lakers last night in Memphis. The Memphis were without Ja Morant. That was a very winnable game for the Lakers. And they basically laid an egg. They only scored 93 points. Against a team that's without Ja Morant. So I think in this situation, you come in with the mentality that we're going to have the same intensity as if Kawhi Leonard's playing. We're not going to take the Clippers for granted. We want to get off to a good start. We want to win every quarter. We do not want to lose any quarters. Take care of the basketball, win the rebound game, and then allow that big 4 of Ayton and Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant to play outstanding basketball, because they have the best team. They got the best 4 players, or 3 out of the 4 if you remove Chris Paul from that lineup, especially since he's an older player at this stage of his career. If you remove him from that big 4, you still got 3 guys between Ayton, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker that can basically win this game by themselves.
All right, that is our coach Avery Johnson joining us here on HQ as we're following that breaking news out of the NBA where Kawhi Leonard will miss tonight's Game 3 against the Suns. Thanks so much, Coach. We appreciate it. Good stuff as always. And getting a look at the NBA playoff games tonight. Again, the Suns and the Clippers. Clippers without Kawhi, of course, and without Paul George. That tips off at 10:30 Eastern. The Suns heavy favorites there. Also, Kings and the Warriors as that series heads to San Francisco, and the 76ers and the Nets. Sixers favored at -4.5.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.